Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I'm just waiting for people to join in and we'll start off once we have some people and we'll be live, right? All right, I have 10 people here waiting for some more to join in. Just see how many people are there on LinkedIn as well. Just give me a second. All right. Okay, great. All right. So, welcome to the pre-session of the boot camp. So, lot of you have registered for the AoR exam, and a lot of you have registered for the boot camp. Good evening, Abhishek. Good evening, Priyanka. Good evening, everyone. So, now almost 6,000 people have registered for the boot camp, and we are really excited to see all of you uh, for the boot camp. And what are you going to do and how you are going to crack the AOR. Now, a lot of you had questions. What is AOR and AOR ka pura overview. So we'll discuss that today so that you are ready for the bootcamp tomorrow. We have some resource skills and we have some you know videos to share with you so that you can be prepared for the boot camp even in advance. All right, so I'll start off with discussing an overview of the AOR exam. Uh, Now, what do you think is the estimated, you know, pass rate in the advocate on record exam? Can anyone tell me that? Anyone? So, in a advocate on record exam, 80% of people fail exam every year. So the pass rate is just around 20%, right? And this is after 5 to 7 years of practice that the person is giving this exam. And even after that, if the passing rate is just 20%, just imagine what is the value of this exam. Among the 1,000 and 1,200 people who attempt the exam annually, you know, only 200 to 250 succeed. In the last, not in last, I have data for 2021. 1,091 people had taken the exam, and only 200 people cleared the exam. So just look at the value, the brand that it will bring once you clear the AOR exam. You can enter the elite club of Supreme Court advocate on record, uh, you know, people, and that club is just amazing, right? Because you have that kind of reputation, you have that kind of uh, you no more have to tell the clients that uh, मैं बहुत अच्छा lawyer हूँ and all of that. Your brand, your name, your if you are writing you are an AOR, that tells itself. Now, lot of law students are have also registered for this and have asked that you know हमारे को तो सब लोग यही बोल रहे हैं सीधा AOR तो नहीं बन सकते, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में तुम प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर सकते, तुम पहले अभी 5 साल यहीं पे ही करो, 7 साल तुम अभी हाई कोर्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स में करो, फिर हाई कोर्ट्स में करो, उसके बाद कहीं तुम्हारा नंबर लगेगा जाके सुप्रीम कोर्ट में करने को. That's what is fed to us always as lawyers, that you can't actually go to the Supreme Court directly. You have to spend decades and decades in the district courts and then in the high courts, and then finally the gates of Supreme Court opens up for you, right? But I must tell you to all the law students that It is not like that. There is an alternative way that you can do. You have to prepare थोड़ा सा starting से ही. While you are in the law school, you have to start preparing for it, aim for it, crack it in one go, be an advocate on record, and you will have a thriving Supreme Court practice. That is our promise from LawSikho. We are changing this. A lot of young lawyers have become advocate on records from following our roadmaps, right? Now, let's move on and discuss. A lot of people ask what's the eligibility to appear for the AoR exam. You must have 4 years of practice experience before the date of the exam, right? That's the first condition. 4 years of practice experience before the date of the exam. 1 year of experience of working with AOR of at least 10 years of standing. एक AOR के साथ आपको 1 साल का एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए. वो AOR जिसको ऑलरेडी 10 साल का स्टैंडिंग एक्सपीरियंस हो. So this is the second condition. And the third eligibility criteria is you need to have an office within the 16 kilometers of Supreme Court. Now, you need to have an office within 16 kilometers of Supreme Court. Will have a follow-up question from a lot of you who are not from Delhi, that if I am not from Delhi, if I am not living in Delhi, so do can't you start a Supreme Court practice, or can't you crack the AOR exam? No, it is not like that. You can very well appear for the AOR exam. You can very well crack the exam. The only condition that this eligibility criteria applies is that you need to have a office address within the 16-kilometer radius of Supreme Court. Now, this office address can be a shared one as well. If your friend has an office, if you have a old colleague, or you can find out someone who already has an office there and share an address with them. The only thing that eligibility requires is that you need to have an address in 16 kilometers of Supreme Court, right? That's it. That's all it requires. You don't have to shift to Delhi. Probably you can visit Delhi for appearance in the Supreme Court, and it's very easy nowadays. Why? Because the cost of flying today is very cheap, and you can probably even if you're coming from Bangalore, you can just fly down to Delhi in 3 hours and be in Supreme Court. And in fact, in the post-pandemic world, we have open doors for online and virtual hearing and virtual arguments as well. So you have that option also open. So you really don't have to shift to Delhi, and not to worry that if you are not from Delhi, you cannot become an AOR. Leave that thought, burst your myth. You don't have to be in Delhi to clear the advocate on record exam, and rest of the things can be managed. All you need is a clerk working here. That can also be a shared one, and an address that is in 16 kilometers of radius in of the Supreme Court. So that's all you require. If you have that, you can appear for the advocate on record exam and become an advocate on record. In fact, LawSikho has helped a person from Mizoram who is practicing in Mizoram to become an advocate on record. And he was the first person from northeastern states to become an advocate on record. And that person was from LawSikho. He had followed the roadmap and teachings from LawSikho and become an advocate on record. So congratulations to him. We have also shared this story with you over the WhatsApp channel and Telegram as well. So if you are there, you might already know it. But if you are not there, you should join in, right? And now let us understand these 3 points of eligibility. First point was 4 years of practice experience before the date of exam. Second one year of experience of working with AoR, who has 10 years of standing experience. And then you need to have an office within the 16 kilometers of Supreme Court. Now let's understand this in a little depth. 4 years of practice experience is counted from the date of enrollment with State Bar Council. The date of passing of the All India Bar exam is not relevant. So, uh, if you have enrolled, so the first step while you get enrolled the bar is you go to the State Bar Council and get your license, right? So, the date of enrollment with the State Bar Council is considered the date of commencement of your practice. So 4 years of practice experience आपका काउंट होगा जिस दिन आपने स्टेट बार काउंसिल में एनरोल किया. ऑल इंडिया बार एग्जाम कब दिया, कब पास किया, वो अभी रेलेवेंट नहीं है फॉर द फर्स्ट एलिजिबिलिटी, राइट? नाउ once you have a 4 year of practice experience from the date of enrollment in the state bar council, second step is आपको commencement certificate लेना है. Now this commencement certificate is issued by an AoR जिसके साथ आप ट्रेनिंग करोगे. और AoR कौन सा होना चाहिए? जिसको 10 साल का स्टैंडिंग, जिसकी 10 साल की स्टैंडिंग हो एज एन AoR, राइट? नाउ यू विल बी थिंकिंग यार ये लोग मिलेंगे कैसे? ये सब हम कल आपको बूट कैम्प में बताएंगे. सो डोंट मिस आउट द बूट कैम्प. सो फर्स्ट, आपकी 4 साल कब से काउंट होती है? आई हैव क्लैरिफाइड दैट. समबडी हैड दैट क्वेश्चन इन द कमेंट्स, सो आंसर्ड. सेकेंड, आपको कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट लेना है. नाउ ये किससे लेना है? उस AoR के साथ जिसके साथ आप 1 साल की प्रैक्टिस करोगे, हु हैज 10 years of standing as an AoR. ऑल राइट, क्लियर? कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट कैसे लेते हैं उसकी स्टेप बाय स्टेप गाइड वील शेयर इन द कमेंट्स राइट अवे. Mayank, can you just share the blog that we have created for how to get a commencement certificate? If we don't have a blog, you can share the PDF as well. All right. So commencement certificate ka step by step guide we'll share right away. Third part is once you have given your certificate of commencement, you begin your training. On completion of 1 year of continuous training with the AoR, a completion certificate has to be submitted. Right? तो commencement certificate आपका एक रहेगा जो आप एक AoR से लोगे who has 10 years of standing as an AoR. 1 साल की ट्रेनिंग करोगे आप उसके साथ, फिर आप उससे लोगे completion certificate और वो भी सबमिट होगा to the body that will conduct the exam, Supreme Court Advocate on Record exam. Now अब आपका बहुत सारे लोग एक बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक करते हैं, AoR एग्जाम की नोटिफिकेशन आएगी तब मैं इसके बारे में सोचना शुरू करूंगा. नो, यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग ऑफ इट राइट अवे. इवन इफ यू आर अ लॉ स्टूडेंट, स्टार्ट थिंकिंग ऑफ इट कि आप स्टेट बार में कब एनरोल करोगे, 4 साल की प्रैक्टिस आपकी किस डेट को खत्म होगी, उससे पहले आपको कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट भी लेना है फ्रॉम द AoR. Right, you have to find out some AoR who has 10 years of standing and who will be ready to train you, right? And then finally you have to think of the completion certificate as well. Don't wait for the notifications to come out and then start working on this. Start doing it even before that, right? So that you are ready. जब notification आएगा फटाफट भरो and start preparing for the exam and crack it in one go. All right. Now you will say that यार 5 attempts है आराम से कर लेंगे हैं, but do you know a catch? If you fail in all the subjects of AoR, you will be barred from giving the exam for 1 year. So you will waste the whole year. You can't give that exam again, right? So इसलिए एक ही बार में करना जरूरी है. Now, what will you do once the notification for the exam is out? नोटिफिकेशन से पहले का काम मैंने आपको बता दिया, एलिजिबिलिटी बता दी, उसके बाद मैंने बता दिया कि नोटिफिकेशन से पहले ही start looking for commencement certificate and your completion certificate. Now let's see what do you have to do once the notification for the exam is out. You need to fill in the application form and ensure that your 1 year of training is completed by the day of the exam. You will receive the confirmation for this. ठीक है? So basically अगर आप in between भी हो ना अपनी AOR ट्रेनिंग के, आपका जो टाइम ऑफ ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीशन है वो एग्जाम से पहले अगर है, यू आर ओके, यू कैन फिल इन द फॉर्म. ये मत वेट करना कि मेरी ट्रेनिंग खत्म होगी, कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट आ जाएगा, फिर मैं फॉर्म भरूंगा. नोटिफिकेशन आ गई, एप्लीकेशन भर लो, कैलकुलेशन कर लो कि भाई एग्जाम से पहले मेरी ट्रेनिंग का पीरियड खत्म हो रहा है. अगर वो हो रहा है, फिल इन द एप्लीकेशन, सबमिट इट, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. Next, submit hard copies of certain documents after which you will receive your admit card. अभी एप्लीकेशन आप ऑनलाइन भर सकते हो, उसके बाद आप हार्ड कॉपीज वगैरह जो भी आपको है वो सबमिट करनी पड़ेंगी, उसी के बाद आपका एडमिट कार्ड आएगा. You will need to obtain a certificate of completion, ideally by the time of submission of the application form and at least a few days before the date of exam. So the Board of Examiners has some time to process your completion certificate. All right. So थोड़ा सा बफर रख लेना so that वो आपके एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म को रिव्यू करने के लिए, कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट को रिव्यू करने के लिए बोर्ड ऑफ एग्जामिनर्स के पास टाइम हो. कूल. नेक्स्ट, when are you likely to take the AOR exam? If you are already meeting the eligibility criteria and have filed your commencement certificate, we recommend that you attempt the exam in the next available date. But only and only if you are thoroughly prepared. Because if you fail all the papers, you cannot take another attempt at all. As I said earlier. आप thoroughly prepared नहीं हो, एग्जाम देने मत जाना. If you failed all the papers, you cannot take another attempt at all. एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया अगर कंप्लीट है, कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट अपना फाइल्ड है आपका, तो आप भाई बढ़िया से अटेम्प्ट दे दो जो भी नेक्स्ट डेट अवेलेबल हो. नाउ इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग टू स्टडी फ्रॉम स्क्रैच नाउ, योर अर्लीस्ट अटेम्प्ट नीड टू बी प्लान्ड अहेड. बैक कैलकुलेशन करनी पड़ेगी. सो इस बार आई थिंक जून में प्लान्ड है, मतलब हमारे AOR एग्जाम. सो वैसे हिस्ट्री में हमेशा ये दिसंबर के आसपास ही होता है, बट अगेन जून प्लान है, तो आप उस हिसाब से बैक कैलकुलेटेड. इफ यू हैव नॉट फाइल्ड योर कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट, योर इमीडिएट गोल शुड बी टू फाइंड एन AOR who can give you a commencement certificate so that you can file it and be ready to take the exam in the designated time. All right. नाउ कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट कैसे लेना है उसकी पूरी गाइड वी हैव शेयर्ड विद यू राइट अवे. ठीक है. AOR विद 10 years of स्टैंडिंग, आपको उसके साथ कमेंसमेंट सर्टिफिकेट कैसे लेना है उसका गाइड इज शेयर्ड. आई हैव हाईलाइटेड इट ऑन द वीडियो एज वेल so that you can find it quickly. Right. Now what will happen once you clear the exam? After the declaration of results, जिसको 8 से 10 महीने लगते हैं, if you have passed the exam, you have to collect the AOR certificate from the Supreme Court in person. All right. An application of registration as an AOR is to be given to you. ठीक है, which you need to submit. आपको पहले जाके रिजल्ट्स के बाद, अगर आप क्लियर करते हो, रिजल्ट्स को 8 से 10 महीने लगते हैं, उसके बाद अपना AOR सर्टिफिकेट कलेक्ट कर लेना इन पर्सन जाके सुप्रीम कोर्ट से. उसके साथ आपको एक एप्लीकेशन टू रजिस्टर एज एन AOR दिया जाएगा, वो आपको सबमिट करनी रहेगी. ऑलराइट. नाउ इसके बाद आपको एक ऑफिस ढूंढना है जो 16 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में हो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के, क्योंकि आपको एक ऑफिस एड्रेस प्रोवाइड करना है, लाइक इन द एलिजिबिलिटी में आई हैव डिस्कस्ड. थर्ड एलिजिबिलिटी यही थी. The said application is then listed before the chamber judge, all right, who passes a formal order allowing you to practice as an AOR. दिस इज अ टेक्निकल रिक्वायरमेंट, माइंड इट, राइट? जो आपको एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म मिलेगा वंस यू हैव कलेक्टेड दी AOR सर्टिफिकेट, वो आप अपने एड्रेस जो आप उसके अंदर 16 किलोमीटर के रेडियस वाला एड्रेस के साथ जब सबमिट करोगे, वो एप्लीकेशन चेंबर जज के सामने लगाई जाएगी, चेंबर जज को बोला जाएगा कि he has to practice as AOR and he will pass a formal order allowing you to practice as an AOR. And mind it, it is a technical requirement. So you have to mandatorily do this. All right. Now you can then go ahead and become a member of the Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association. जैसे आपकी बार एसोसिएशन, स्टेट बार एसोसिएशन होती है, उसके बाद आप ऑल इंडिया बार एसोसिएशन के पार्ट बनते हो बाय क्लियरिंग द एग्जाम. सिमिलरली AOR का एग्जाम क्लियर होने के बाद फॉर्मल ऑर्डर फ्रॉम द चेंबर जज आने के बाद आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो टू बिकम द मेंबर ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड एसोसिएशन. सो इन टोटल अगर आप कैलकुलेट करोगे तो आप AOR बनने के लिए ऑफिशियली समवेयर यू नीड अराउंड 6 to 7 years ऑफ टाइम फ्रॉम द एनरोलमेंट इन द बार. ये स्टेट बार है जो मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में डिस्कस कर लिया था. सो द डे यू आर एनरोलिंग इन द स्टेट बार, वहां से आपका प्रैक्टिस ईयर काउंट होता है. तो इन टोटल अगर आप बैक कैलकुलेशन और ये सब कुछ कैलकुलेशन करोगे तो 6 से 7 साल इट विल टेक फॉर यू टू बिकम एन AOR. ऑलराइट, this is mostly because AOR exam results are announced after 8 to 10 months. All right, so वो 8 to 10 months का buffer भी I have included in this 6 to 7 years का जो time I am telling. Now in some cases 1 year of training may not be complete by the cutoff date of the exam notification. That is why I am saying that law students have to back calculate so that they can become at the earliest. And जितना early बनोगे उतनी जल्दी सुप्रीम कोर्ट प्रैक्टिस शुरू कर पाओगे ना भाई. That is why. This is also why cracking the exam in your first attempt is very important. Because अगर 8 से 10 महीने एक एग्जाम का रिजल्ट आने में लग रहा है तो भाई एक एक साल थोड़ी वेट करोगे. आप अपने मतलब नेक्स्ट ईयर आएगा, पेपर दोगे, फिर उसके बाद 10 महीने बाद रिजल्ट आएगा, 2 साल और ऐड हो जाएंगे, राइट? दैट doesn't make sense. That's why you have to clear it in the first attempt. That's why you have to start early. Now we have already discussed this, that do you really need to have office near the Supreme Court? You need to own it? No, you can have a shared space as well. Now, do you need to rent an entire office for yourself in the central Delhi? Do you need to live in Delhi? So let's answer this. First, you do not need to live in Delhi. There are many AOR based outside Delhi currently. You can find them on LinkedIn, and we could also, you could also share the space with them. All right. You can rent or share a chamber with another lawyer, but this must be within 16 kilometers of Supreme Court. And finally, you can fly down to Delhi for your matters and participate in virtual hearings and Supreme Court. You do not need to live in the city. So I've answered all three of the questions. ऑफिस पूरा खरीदने की जरूरत नहीं है, रेंट आउट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, दिल्ली में रहने की जरूरत नहीं है. जस्ट फाइंड आउट सम एडवोकेट्स who are in and around 16 kilometers of the radius of Supreme Court. Share address with them. Have a clerk if you want to, who will help you in drafting and filing work. You can fly down whenever required. Mostly आजकल virtual hearing ही हो जाती है तो ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं आती. But even if you have to fly down for a very important matter, you can. It's completely fine. It's very cheap nowadays. All right. And you also don't have to have the clerk on your payroll. All right. उसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे clerks भी मिल जाएंगे जो आपको पर फाइलिंग चार्ज करते हैं, ठीक है? तो उन लोगों को ढूंढ लो and do it. All right. So now if you want to know more about this exam, a step-by-step guide on how you can crack the advocate on record exam, how you can build a Supreme Court practice, and probably how a law student can start off in building his Supreme Court practice so that he can at the earliest enter the Supreme Court, and while he is in the peak time of his career, he should be in the Supreme Court practicing, you need to come to the boot camp tomorrow. All right. So I just wanted to give you an overview today, right? And have some questions from you. I'll just take questions now. But in the whole, in the boot camp tomorrow, we will teach you some hardcore skills as to how you can draft an SLP, how you can draft petitions, how can you reach out to these AORs, how can you really find AORs जिनके साथ आपको ट्रेनिंग करनी है. Like the major problem that lot of lawyers face, that they don't find AORs who have 10 years of standing, right? We will teach you how to find them, how to pitch them, how to convince them that they should train you. All right. Now AOR के अंदर आंसर राइटिंग कैसे होगी, we will teach you that also in the boot camp. All right. Now, in addition to that, how can you build a track record that once you are getting into Supreme Court and you are that getting that kind of clientele, उसको convince करने का एक बढ़िया सा track record भी होना चाहिए ना. You have to start thinking it right away. So वो सब कुछ in detail we will share with you. All right. And finally, AOR एग्जाम को क्रैक करने में क्या क्या लगता है वो सब कुछ we will be sharing with you in the boot camp and live, free of cost. It starts tomorrow. It's a 3-day boot camp. All I am asking you is invest 9 hours with us. Once you invest those 9 hours, you will have skills in your hand. You will know how to crack the AOR exam. You will have a roadmap, a step-by-step roadmap on how you have to crack the AOR exam. And the next step of building your Supreme Court practice, how you have to convince your client, how you have to build your track record. You will know all of this. All right. Now I have some question that says, what are the different papers in AOR exams? Basic, मैं बता देता हूँ. So it is conducted over 4-day period. All right. It has 4 subjects, 4 papers, 100 marks each. पेपर 1 आपका प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रोसीजर होता है. पेपर 2 आपका ड्राफ्टिंग होता है. पेपर 3 इज एडवोकेसी एंड प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स एंड पेपर 4 इज लीडिंग केसेस. ऑलराइट. 3 आवर्स का आपका टाइम होता है. 30 मिनट्स उसमें एक्स्ट्रा मिल जाते हैं फॉर रीडिंग. ऑलराइट. आप पहले रीड कर सकते हो बट ओवरऑल अटेम्प्टिंग टाइम आपका 3 आवर्स का ही होता है. ऑलराइट. ऑल्सो इसमें कुछ भी मल्टीपल चॉइस नहीं होता है. एवरीथिंग इज सब्जेक्टिव एंड यू नीड टू राइट द आंसर्स बाय हैंड, सो इट रिक्वायर्स अ लॉट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. ऑलराइट. स्पीड और लेजिबल हैंड राइटिंग होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अब रियल लाइफ ड्राफ्टिंग ज़्यादा हम नहीं करते हैं, कंप्यूटर पे ही कर लेते हैं. बट इन द पेपर यू विल हैव टू राइट इट बाय योर हैंड इन गुड हैंड राइटिंग. ऑलराइट. And it is not an open book exam. All right. लीडिंग केसेस का आपको हेड नोट्स वगैरह मिल जाएंगे बट वो बहुत वॉल्यूमिनस होते हैं, तो वो आपको करेक्ट आंसर भी नहीं देंगे. ऑल राइट. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द जो लोग हैं जिन्होंने क्लियर कर दिया, दे विल सजेस्ट दैट मोस्टली दीज हेड नोट्स आर अ डिस्ट्रैक्शन फॉर यू. So you have to be ready. It's not an open book exam. All right. Qualifying and passing marks 60% aggregate hai with minimum. Now 60% aggregate is the first part. Second part is 50% in each paper. Aggregate 60% चाहिए but सब papers में 50% आना जरूरी है. तो ideally it is not a competitive exam. तो आप जिसको भी ये मार्क्स आएंगे, whoever is scored 60% aggregate and 50% in each paper, you will clear the exam. ऐसा नहीं है कि top 20 ranks कोई मिलेगा. It is not a competitive exam. Just have to pass it. So thumb rule aim करता है 60% और higher in every paper. Reason क्या है इसका? जब passing marks ही 50% है for each exam, why are we targeting on getting 60% or higher for every paper? रीजन इज कि अगर आप 50% 3 पेपर में स्कोर करो तो आपको चौथे पेपर में 90% स्कोर करना पड़ेगा, सो दैट यू आर एग्रीगेटेड 60%. That is why the thumb rule is that you have to score 60% in each paper so that your aggregate is mentioned. Aggregate is achieved. All right. Now I have a question on somebody was asking uh, the age limit. कहाँ गया भाई? हाँ, Vijay Kumar was asking that what is the age limit for AOR? So there is no maximum age limit. Minimum आपको practice 4 साल की होनी चाहिए. You need to have 4 years of practice from the day of enrollment in the State Bar Council. ठीक है? Otherwise, maximum limit in age is not there. Even if you are 50 years old, you can become an AOR. Number of reattempts that are allowed are 5. I have already discussed this. If you fail all the papers, you cannot reattempt the exam in the following year. All right, जो मैंने आपको बताया था. You will need to wait an extra year before trying again. So do not attempt the test without proper preparation. And आपको क्यों टेंशन लेनी है? We are coming live tomorrow and giving you a preparation guide, a step-by-step guide. Load क्यों लेना है? Prepare yourself well, go prepared, and give the exam and crack it in one go. Now, several candidates fail in the one or more subjects in their first attempt and even subsequent attempts, and they end up losing a year or more for this reason. At this point of time, many people even give up on the idea. Don't let that happen to you. Prepare well, have a roadmap, and just clear the exam in the first go and build your thriving Supreme Court practice. And everybody says the early you start, the better you make, right? So just imagine the early you can get into the Supreme Court, the more thriving practice and more mark can you make in the Supreme Court of India, right? So practice कितनी ज़्यादा आपकी glorify हो जाएगी by then. Now, overview I have given you. I have answered a few of the questions. Now, I have completed LLB from Chhattisgarh. Can I give AIB from West Bengal? And AIB is compulsory to give AR exam. All India Bar exam is compulsory for giving the AOR exam. Very true. Although, as I mentioned, you don't have to. Your years of experience as a practicing experience is not counted from the date of your AIBE exam, but when you enrolled in the State Bar Council. So get yourself enrolled in the State Bar Council, then give All India Bar exam, then you can give the AOR also. All right, with 4 years of experience, if you fulfill the eligibility. Age limit is not there. I have already told you. All right. I have talked about law students. There's a law student who's saying that when should I start off? You should start off right away, because AOR exam. Like I said, it's a subjective exam. It's not an MCQ. So you can't just ratify something and just go and uh, clear the exam. You need to have legible understanding of the judicial system, of your laws, of drafting. So you have to start preparing right away. And like I said, you have to reverse calculate. It will take 6 years to become an AOR for you, because 4 years of experience is required as the first eligibility criteria. So you have to complete that. Then you have to get your commencement certificate, completion certificate, and then you give the AOR exam. All right. So the strategy and the catch is that before that you should have a track record ready, and once you become an advocate on record, you start getting your clients, right? So वो सब कुछ you have to start planning right away. So I'll give a roadmap also, since I have good number of participants here. For the participants live here, we'll share a roadmap right away. Mike, you can share a roadmap document with them in the comments, and they can look into it, which will help them to understand AOR journey better. And for more clarity on how you have to prepare, what should be your preparation strategy, and what should be your right answer writing strategy, how you have to now just cracking the AOR exam is not the game. You have to start your Supreme Court practice also. You need to know what you have to do once you become an AOR, right? You need to know that work as well. एक AOR क्या क्या काम करता है, how you can build your Supreme Court practice. Supreme Court practice में क्या क्या काम आना चाहिए, that also needs to be uh, you know on your fingertips till the time you become an AOR. So all of those skills we'll complete and discuss in the boot camp tomorrow, starting tomorrow, 15th of June. We'll start at 2 p.m., right, and discuss it for 3 hours. Then on 16th also we are starting on 2 p.m. On 18th, since it's a Monday, we'll it's a Tuesday. We'll start off in the evening so that you are back from office or college and free from other distractions and start learning about AOR. Now, I'll just quickly cover what I'll discuss quickly what all we are covering in the bootcamp starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. How much can you earn through a practice at a Supreme Court while still practicing in the trial courts and high courts outside Delhi, right? Because a lot of lawyers are in the tussle that should I leave my practice in my hometown and just move to Delhi and have a Supreme Court practice? You don't have to. You can have your own regional practice as well and then have Supreme Court clientele as well. And I have discussed it in length that you don't have to shift to Delhi. You can stay in your hometown as well. How long does it take to become an AOR? I have given you an idea, an overview. A complete roadmap will be shared with you, and complete calculation, back calculation कैसे करना है for a law student, ये सब कुछ हम कल boot camp में करेंगे, right? How can you network with AORs and assist them and obtain commencement certificate? This is very, very important. So we'll discuss it in the length. I have shared a document already with you, but we'll discuss this at length in the bootcamp as well. We will also discuss a subject-wise past year paper analysis so that you can strategize how you can prepare for each paper. 4 पेपर हैं, चारों के लिए एक अलग स्ट्रैटेजी रहेगी. उस स्ट्रैटेजी को नैरो डाउन करने के लिए वील कंडक्ट अ पास्ट ईयर पेपर एनालिसिस एंड फिर स्ट्रैटेजी बनाएंगे. एंड एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट प्रैक्टिस के लिए ड्राफ्टिंग इन SLP इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वो कैसे कर सकते हो, वील ऑल्सो डिस्कस दैट. ऑल राइट. हाउ टू ड्राफ्ट ट्रांसफर पिटिशंस, वील डिस्कस दैट. हाउ टू राइट आंसर्स इन द पेपर ऑन प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रोसीजर विद अ डेमो. Live demo में we'll show you a question that was asked in the AOR exam and we'll answer it live for you so that you can have the idea कि actually में कैसे structure करना है आंसर को, कितना time divide करना है आंसर लिखने के लिए, all of those things, little intricacies, because लिखने को बहुत सारी चीज़ें अभी हम लिख दें, गाइड्स दे दें, but that won't help you to understand that what is the real scenario. For that, we will conduct a demo writing answers in the bootcamp tomorrow. All right. Now, we will also show you case studies of people who have cleared the AOR exam with us, and successfully working as an AOR and building a Supreme Court practice. We will also teach you how to draft an PIL, how to write an answer in practice and procedure paper. एक अब ये जो हमारा पेपर 3 था प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रोसीजर पेपर का, उसको इन डेप्थ स्टडी करेंगे, उसके आंसर्स कैसे लिखने हैं वो करेंगे. ऑलराइट. हाउ टू ड्राफ्ट एन एप्लीकेशन फॉर अर्ली हियरिंग, दैट इज वेरी कॉमनली यूज्ड एप्लीकेशन इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट. हाउ डू यू ड्राफ्ट इट, वो we'll discuss. How to draft a transfer petition, we'll discuss that also. And above all, we'll give you a 12-month plan, a complete roadmap on how you can crack the AOR exam and start your Supreme Court practice. You don't have to wait for decades and decades to start a Supreme Court practice or get your first Supreme Court client, you have to start early, crack the AoR exam, and start your Supreme Court practice. And we will give you the roadmap tomorrow in the boot camp. So I'll see you live tomorrow at 2 p.m. I don't have any more questions in the comments, so I'll uh, hope that I have answered them all. And additionally, I hope you liked the session on overview of AoR and in depth what we are going to discuss tomorrow in the boot camp. So I'll see you all there. I have around 25, no, 27 people on YouTube, and I guess some another 17 people on LinkedIn. So I want to see all of you live tomorrow in the boot camp. Cheers.